Okay, so my semester topic for my speech class is just I really want to get more students to utilize like the educational resources on campus and just kind of state why they're important because I really feel like they are important honestly on our campus. So I just have a few questions to ask you about that kind of stuff. So how do you think the Writing Center is like affecting the community of USD, like our campus?
Okay. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Mohammed Kuzuddin, and I'm the graduate coordinator at the Writing Center.
Okay.
And your questions, first question is about how students are affected.
Yeah, or like how it's affecting our whole campus, I guess.
I think mostly we work with writing, so it's, students, as long as it's about writing, so students are getting help on all aspects of their writing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So you're kind of saying they're not like just on certain writings, like every single part of writing, they're getting help here.
Yeah. So
Okay. Okay. And then my next question is, do you have any story about like a certain maybe student that you've helped on campus with the Writing Center that's like really affected them?
okay. I've been working here. It's just been a month.
Okay.
I started this fall,
Okay.
but I have observed a few things. I mean, I cannot tell you any personal story, but our consultants often say that students, once they come here, so they would come back again and again because they come to see the benefits of coming there. So yeah, so students would come with other problems. For example, they get to see familiar faces coming. So there is a rapport with the consultants.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a reason because the students feel comfortable once they come here,
Yeah.
so they would come again and again. So yeah,
Okay. And I think that's awesome.
on a
to
personal
just-
level, I think
Yeah.
they get to know each other. They get to know the consultant, and consultant get to know the writer. So they would come. They would feel free to come again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I like that aspect where you said they kind of have that personal connection. It makes them more comfortable. That's really awesome. What led you to become a worker here at the Writing Center?
I'm an English MA student here, and I am a graduate teaching assistant. But this year I'm working with the Writing Center. And what led me there, I think it's part of my writing passion, I would say. I like writing, and as I want to be an academic, and this is something that I want to involve myself with. For example, with helping students with writing, be it teaching or be it consultancy.
Okay.
So yeah,
Awesome. And so you are a writing major, you said, or
I'm an English major.
English major? Okay.
Shall I say like I'm an English MA student,
Okay.
graduate student.
Okay. Are you, because you were talking about teaching, are you thinking about helping like students like teaching professor-wise with English in the future, or?
In future, I might be teaching English 101.
Okay. So-
but this year I'm working with the Writing Center.
Yeah, so this is great experience.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. What do you think are good ways to get more students to like utilize the Writing Center or like kind of get more awareness of it out on the campus?
Can you repeat the question?
What are like you think like good ways or tactical ways to get more students to utilize the Writing Center here?
Oh, okay. I think it would be to reach out to students widely so that they know about what Writing Center does. I think there's a lack of information in terms of students knowing whether what does Writing Center do. So I think it would be, and that's part of what we do, and I think we should do that more widely to reach out to instructors who would tell them to go to Writing Center, and who would also probably give them extra credit for that. Some instructors do that, give them extra credit when they come to Writing Center session, or they go to different workshops. And for your information, we have weekly workshop on every Wednesday at Delso, yeah.
Okay.
110 Delso 10, and we we do this workshop on a variety of topics, writing related. Last week we had the workshop on MLA, and we also had a workshop on AI in writing,
Okay.
how to use AI ethically.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are doing this, and to answer your question, yeah, it would be to reach out to more students,
Okay.
which we're doing.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool, and I like the fact where you said like I didn't know professors kind of gave extra credit if you went to these different things, so that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because the part of the reason that they do is because when students come to the writing center, it means that they are actively studying. They are trying to figure out what's going on with their study and writing. So it gives the message that you are trying your best. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's why they give the extra credit.
That's awesome. I guess a kind of a follow-up question on that. I personally didn't really hear about these workshops. Do you know any like a good way to get these workshops out more? 'Cause I personally, as a student, I didn't hear about this workshop.
Okay, I'll give you some handouts after the meeting.
Oh, okay, perfect, okay. What are some like misconceptions you think students have about the Writing Center?
That's an interesting question. I think it's again part of the reason why they don't want to come is, or maybe even if they come, the misconception is that they think we are editor of their work, we are fixer, we are problem solver. I mean, we don't edit the writing. I mean, we help them become better writer.
Yeah.
So we let them figure out what's going on with their paper. We listen to their problems and give them specific feedback, which help them to figure out and to solve their problem themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be related to organization, coherence, any part of the essay, anything, any pattern, or maybe thesis development, maybe organization. But sometimes the misconception they have is that, okay, if I go to the writing center, I will get this fixed and they will write for me. I mean, unfortunately, the first year undergrad students have this problem. So they think, not all of them, sometimes some of them have this, like, they will write for me or they will edit for me. So yeah, but once they come here, they understand what, like, yeah. So it's more about helping them become better writer, not writing for them.
Yeah, I guess that's cool. I mean, that's how the students are gonna learn, you know, other than just saying.
And one thing I can tell, right, when they come in a session and they follow to other sessions, they come back with their developed writing, so we can see the change.
Yeah.
Because when they work according to the specific feedback, they become better writer gradually. So it's about themselves. I mean, themselves becoming better writer.
Yeah.
Not us doing the work for them.
That's a really cool like perspective, really, because I do feel like a lot of students on campus do feel like they're just gonna come to the writing center and give them you guys a computer and you're gonna do it for them. So that's kind of cool to see that.
Yeah.
No, you guys are here to help them become the better writers. One misconception I even had coming out of campus was like I thought I was like say too smart for the writing center, like I didn't need the help, but I came here once to get help and I realized that it's just, I mean, like you're never too smart. Like there's always a problem in your paper that you might need help on. So
yeah, right. This misconception also exists, I think. Yeah, thank you for bringing this.
Yeah.
Sometimes this also becomes the obstacle of coming to, and you decide not to come. Yeah, because yeah, a lot of students have this. The other side of that, I think, is this like I don't need to go there because I think my writing center is okay, or maybe my class is alright. My class is enough. What I'm learning in the class is enough. But that is actually not the case all the time, because oftentimes class is not enough, because you will not get that one-on-one session with your professor all the time.
yeah,
You don't get this chance. So even your professor, your instructor would want that you go to the writing center. Maybe you would want, even though your writing is good, but you wouldn't see your problem. You
Yeah.
need a reader
yeah,
to
really,
look through your paper.
yeah. And I like that. Like this is a one-on-one session, and you're not gonna get that with your professor. So that's awesome, honestly. What's some advice you would give a student who's maybe feeling like a little nervous or like unconfident to come to the writing center? Like, a little scared, maybe, I would say.
I would suggest them they have to come first. I mean, once they come, they would realize like how accepting we are, the way consultants work, and the way the session goes. I mean, the students have no reason to feel nervous because um, we are not judgmental. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't say anything like when consultants will not say, "What did you write?" They will not say these things. I mean, they will listen to your problems, and they will have you to read your paper. They will not just. They will also comment when there is something good. They will say, "Yeah, you did very well there," and they will do it at the very first. They will say these things like point out not your weakness but also your strength.
Yeah.
So you will feel more and more confident.
Yeah.
So when you go after finishing the session, you will feel more confident and not necessarily, of course, not nervous.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Like, I agree with you. I think the first step is just stepping in here. I
So you
think
have to come to
you
see.
just gotta get over that kind of like nervous tick or whatever, I guess you can say.
And of course, I mean, if students do not feel it's not a class. I mean, it's not a class. So if students feel nervous in the class, students have reason to feel nervous in the class, but I don't see any reason to feel nervous to come to a one-on-one session
Mhm.
where they are not your teacher. They are
Yeah.
a consultant. They are probably graduates. We are graduate students, undergrad students. So undergrad probably with experience in writing, of course. So we are graduate students. So they are not professor. So you should have little reason to be nervous in the first place.
Yeah, yeah. I very agree on that too. I mean, like people. I mean, I have even as a freshman get nervous about like what is this professor gonna think, or they know so much more than me. But it's like you guys were students once too, so you kind of know what we've kind of been through, or not been through, but like you know more stuff than us, but you've been in our place once. So I like that idea as well. What's your hope for, like, I guess the Writing Center in general, or how the students will use the Writing Center, like, in the future coming into USD?
How is this going to be like in future?
Yeah, or like, how do you hope for it, the Writing Center to like flourish in the future, or how do you want it to like look like in the future?
I think it's more about how much we can help the writers in what ways. So I think going to future, it would be like, are we changing evolving ourselves according to the convention? For example, nowadays we see AI, becoming something in the writing world. So how do we deal with that?
Yeah.
We had a workshop just last week, and we are also working because a lot of times we find students coming with their writing, which is produced by AI. So we kind of figure out how we deal with that as a consultant.
Yeah.
Because we understand that this is not human writing, but sometimes we have difficulty, figuring out how we help a writer who depend on AI. So we are actually working on that, and maybe in future we'll find, so how we proceed with that.
Yeah. Speaking on the writers that are dependent on AI, could I ask on like what ways you kind of get students to less depend on that AI for the writing?
Sorry?
So like you were talking about the students that like really depend on their AI just to write their essays or whatever for them. What are some things you do to like get kids to be less dependent on AI?
Okay. I mean, it's just a little issue because when you asked about future, so it's kind of
Yeah,
feels
sorry.
like something that would be dominant in future.
Yeah.
Because, in terms of writing and consultancy and all that. How do we? Yeah, this is part of our job. This is what we do. Our overall goal to make them a better writer,
Yeah.
so that they do not get dependent or whatever on the AI. And yeah, how do we do that? Because we want to give the message that you are a confident writer,
Yeah.
and how you don't need to use AI in the first place, because I people, especially the first year students, they use AI because they think it's good and it's good and they cannot produce a writing like that. So they feel very inferior about that. So we want to erase that sense of inferiority to make them confident about themselves. And this is of course through our communication, through our reaching out to them, through our connection as a consultant, as a writer, to make them feel better about their writing, to give them specific feedback so that they become better writer with those feedback and with those understanding.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, just I like the part where you said like they feel like they can't write that like good of essays that AI writes. So I like how you said like you just kind of build up their confidence that they can write pretty good papers.
So that they become a better writer in terms of they can understand the loopholes in those artificial writing.
Yeah.
Because once you depend on yourself, you realize how stupid these AI are.
Yeah.
You can realize their problems.
Yeah, no. I never really used AI for writing, but some of my friends did back in high school, and I always thought to myself, I'm like, you guys are good writers, you know this, but they just didn't have the confidence, like you said, in themselves to think they were good writers. But like, I've seen them write before, I'm like, you guys are good writers. So I really like how you said, it's just, they gotta know their confidence to be a good writer, and then they'll succeed that way. What do you think would make students like want to visit the Writing Center more? Like any ideas that you could think of to like get students to like want to utilize it?
Come to Writing Center.
Yeah.
It's a question of advertisement and reaching out to students.
Yeah.
Right? So we are doing that through, we reach out to instructors, we email them but we're also working on reaching out to students through social media, through Instagram,
Okay.
and doing something there. So I don't think we have done enough
Okay.
so far, but we're actually starting to work on that. I mean, this week maybe we have started working on Instagram to advertise about Writing Center, to reach out to students, because most of the students use Instagram and they're active there. So we want to reach out to their not just through their email. We also want to reach out through this platform.
Yeah, like what they use a lot of. Yeah. And could you see like social media being a really compelling way to get more students to come? Do you feel like if you start posting more on Instagram, it'll get more students to use the center?
Yes, probably it could be one way, but there are other ways which we're doing. The other ways, of course, is reaching out to instructors and telling them to tell the students to come to Writing Center.
Yeah.
Not all instructors probably give them extra credit, but we want that the instructors ask their students to come to Writing Center.
Yeah.
And yeah, as I said, social media is of course a part of that as well.
Yeah. Okay. And I like the professor part you were telling about. Do you think it just needs to be like English professors, or do you think like for say history professors if they need an essay?
Okay, that's a good question. I mean, yeah, it's not just about English, I think.
Yeah.
Because I would say writing. So writing is just something that everyone has to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, regardless of their major. So as long as it's about essay, as long as it's about something, a write-up. So any course, it could be any course where there is a writing assignment due. It could be one-page report.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything like that. So you want to know how good is this write-up. You just don't want your professor feedback. For example, history. Yeah, he can give me feedback, but I want to know more.
Yeah.
I want to know what's going on, so I will go to the Writing Center.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think that's like another misconception that some students have is that they only can come to the Writing Center for just English, but you write papers for a lot of classes and you can come.
And not just papers. I mean, if you are a graduate student or if you are final year, so probably you're applying to other school or you're applying for a job. So you may come here for feedback on your application materials, on CV, on resume. We also provide help those areas. So
Yeah.
you might come here for statement of purpose feedback on that, or maybe on any application related to any grant application. So you need to write a proposal. So it could be about any topic, but the reason is it's just about writing, so we can help you do that.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I had the misconception that was like only papers. I didn't realize that you guys did other stuff. So that's really cool. I guess I didn't know that. So
I know, but the fact is we have students who come for assignment, but that's not to say that we don't provide help in other areas. We also do that, but sometimes some students come with seeking for help in CV, in their application in terms of, for example, they're applying somewhere, so they wrote a proposal,
Yeah.
so they need a feedback on those. So yeah, those kind of helps we also get.
yeah, awesome. And I have one more question. I've asked this a lot, but like the final question I just want to ask is, if you could just say like one more thing, just why is the Writing Center just a great opportunity for all students on UNIST? Just like your final statement, like why is it just a great opportunity for everyone?
Okay, I think it's again about your confidence. I would say your confidence, and part of the reason you are here is that you want to write confidently.
Yeah.
So regardless of what you're studying, so coming to the Writing Center would mean that you have figured out yourself as a writer. So you know your problems, you know your strength. Because if you have attended the session, any session, or one or two sessions, you would realize yourself, like, I mean, those feedback will be part of yourself as a writer.
Yeah.
Because those session will help you to reflect on your career as a writer, like what I'm doing. I mean, class and professor, those of course will help, but these are more academic. But when you come to the Writing Center, it is less academic and sometimes more about writing itself. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, again, thank you for meeting with me. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. And you gave me a lot of good advice, so thank you.
I hope it helps.